Hi there and welcome to another Views from the Valley, your weekly roundup of news here in the United States, coming to you from v3.co.uk, although not in our offices this week. As you can see, we're at the RSA 2010 show, and we'll be doing a full video roundup on Friday, but we should just touch on some of the main themes of this opening day. First off, Art Corviello, the RSA president, laid out a very clear challenge to the security industry, saying that they need to sort out cloud computing security, otherwise it's going to really have a break on the adoption. I mean, in terms of the seminars you've been going to and the people you've been speaking to today, do you think cloud security really is holding back the industry?
Well, you know, every analyst report we've been reading since last year's RSA conference, well, not everyone, but a great majority of them said security is a top, if not the top concern, a very big concern for not only just, basic SaaS services, also storage, full cloud computing platforms. Everything we've heard is, yes, cloud is an issue. As far as we've been hearing this year, I think people have backed off on it a little much just because it was such a hot topic, such a buzzword last year. People are looking at other things as well. But yeah, it seems like it's something that still remains an issue, hasn't really been solved.
Indeed. I mean, the industry seems to be getting together to sort it out, but at the same time, there are so many factors to work in. We're going to have to do a lot of digging to find out if this is actually going to be a significant amount of security going in there. I mean, that said, there are companies who are obviously offering cloud security products, but we've got our doubts. We'll let you know at the end of the show. Another bit of show news, Secunia, the Danish security vulnerability specialist, have announced plans to release a free patch management tool that can be used by anyone. Basically, the software comes onto your system, scans all the applications, works out what you need, and then either downloads and installs the updates automatically or gives the user the option to do this. I think we're getting past, with a tool like this, we're getting past the sort of the software gap when it came to patch management. I mean, it always used to be techies like you and myself can patch no problem.
Yeah.
Could our grannies do it? This is the question.
Well, yeah, and if you have basic version of Windows, yeah, you do have Windows Update, sort of thing that's automatically turned on. But there are other things like PDF vulnerabilities, some of these other, if you're using another type of browser, some of these other browser things where
JavaScript particularly,
JavaScript's a big one, where, they might not automatically update, or they might update, but they'll pest you and pest you and pest you, to the point where you might be running an unupdated system or an unpatched system. So I think it's an interesting idea. How much it catches on, I'm not sure, but I think it's a good idea, and I think it's something that a lot of vendors should look to do at some point.
Well, this is it. It would be nice to see if we could actually get it put on hardware from the start, so that when you just open your new computer for the first time, you do a quick scan and make sure you're patched completely. I think the time for infection from an unpatched PC is now down to a few minutes if you actually plug it into the net. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out. But of course, this week hasn't all been about the RSA show. There's also been a lot of other things, and you've been reporting on some news which is going to make Apple fanboys start reaching for the razor blades.
Yeah,
possibly.
Possibly, yeah. An analyst report is speculating that some of the suppliers, at least one of the suppliers back in Asia, is having trouble with getting some of those components together, some things assembled, essentially causing a bottleneck for the iPad. He estimates that there may only be about 300,000 released initially. It will only be in the U.S., and it might actually be pushed back all the way into April.
Interesting. I mean, we saw with the iPhone, that Apple fans were perfectly prepared to queue outside the shop, until Lord knows where, and even was himself. But I think that was more of a sort of principle thing. But at the same time, we had enough iPhones to actually meet demand. Whereas now, if the iPad is going to be in short demand, it's not been officially confirmed by Apple either, so it could be a promotional way to get those queues coming in again. But if it isn't, then Apple could face serious problems.
Apple could sort it out between now and then. The manufacturer might have already sorted it out, I'm not sure. And these kind of rumors do tend to swirl around pretty much anything Apple does. They don't give a lot of information on it. Everybody wants a lot of information, so you're going to get some speculation. You get some stuff that really isn't that reliable.
I mean, will you be in a queue for the Apple Store for the iPad?
No.
Good man. You never buy version 1.0 of anything.
No, I would be happy to test the version if the opportunity arose.
That's about as big a hint as you'll see on this. But we've also had other new hardware. I mean, Dell's come out with some stuff which really looks quite interesting.
Yesterday they put out a new Optiplex system, which isn't really a big deal. Desktop system, enterprise. They also came out with something called one of their FX.
Right, this was the interesting bit.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what Dell's term for it is, but it's basically client computing, desktop clients, that's slim clients. Small system, underpowered, uses virtualization for pretty much everything. Now, what Dell's saying with their machine, it's called the FX100, is that basically it's not just going to be a thin client, it's not just a very reduced kind of low-end system anymore. Now they're going for almost duplicating a full desktop system, so there's going to be a lot more power, faster performance, less of a delay between going to the server and back. The whole thing's going to be virtualized through VMware's View platform.
Okay.
Basically what they're trying to do is go for the security market, for financial services, healthcare, so systems that need to be kept very secure. Now, rather than having to manage all these desktops, they're going to try and offer administrators the opportunity to keep everything on a central server, virtualized machines and deployments.
Okay, well, I mean, this kind of application of thin computing has been talked about for over a decade now. It'd be nice to see if they could actually make it work.
Yeah, I think there's always kind of been computing power issues, latency
Oracle's
issues,
NC and the rest of it goes way back. But yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out. But we'll do a full show roundup on Friday, which you can see on the site, and you can read about more of these and other stories at v3.co.uk.